Right now we're on our way to see Pam and Dimitri. We're walking through the Athens airport. Then they're gonna pick us up. We're gonna head straight to Meteora, where we'll spend the night, and then in the morning see the monasteries. We just gotta find them now. Did you see them?
Come on in.
Come on in.
Enter the country.
You gotta go past the line.
Now you're officially entering the country.
Θα πάρω 12 παιδιά, 12 παιδιά, 12 μαντολίνα. Να τα πληρώνω μάτια μου, για σένα με το μήνα. Τα 6 κάθε πρωινό θα σε γλυκό ξυπνάνε, και τα άλλα κάθε δειλινό από τη γιο στον ουρανό ξεριάνι θα σε πάνε, και τα άλλα κάθε δειλινό από τη γιο στον ουρανό.
We're having our first authentically Greek meal in Greece.
Wow.
On the coast of the Aegean Sea. At least that's what they say.
I don't want you Greek.
I don't know if we trust them. I can already tell you, it's nice that we have someone who speaks Greek with us. And that's Pam. So here we are in the battlefield of Thermopylae. In Greek, Thermopolis means the hot gates, based on the hot springs that were discovered here in the area centuries and centuries ago. This is the very place where the Spartan king Leonidas held off hundreds of thousands of Persians led by Xerxes. Now, Leonidas only had 300 Spartans with him, a few hundred other soldiers from the city-states. But this small pass here, you can see the hills behind me, is where 300 brave Spartans held off an army much larger than them for 3 days. They were ultimately defeated. But that battle, even in defeat, ultimately sparks the creation of Greek democracy. And that's a story for another time.
I bring you to the best places.
I know. We're so glad you looked that up.
This is our room. You just walked in from the patio outside. A patio that we share with Pam and Dimitri. This is at the Mythos guest house in Kalambaka. Don't quote me on any of
I
that.
don't know any of that.
But it's our first night in Greece that we're going to spend the night. But right now, we're going to go out and do a little exploring around town with Pam and Dimitri. And then tomorrow it's the monasteries on the top of all those
And hopefully I don't die.
peaks. So it's about almost 8 o'clock in the morning on our first full morning here in Greece, in Meteora. We're going to get ready to go up the mountains and check out the monasteries today.
again, you gotta remember, this did not exist at its time of use. You know, in the early years. This was only added by the Greek government later on in the 20th century.
This is our first stop. It's called the Great Meteora Monastery. And we're going to a place where you can't photograph or videotape. So starting in the 11th century, the monks in this area hid in the caverns around here. They were hiding from the Turks and the Ottoman Empire that was trying to take over Greece at the time. Starting in about the 14th century, early 1300s in fact, this monastery, called the Great Meteora Monastery, was founded by Saint Athanasius, the first monk here. He's the one that actually named the area and the place. Meteora means suspended in air. It's actually where we get the word meteor from. So this is the Great Meteora Monastery, founded by Athanasius in the early 1300s. The rest of the monasteries followed, 24 in all, although only 6 survive today.
This bridge not being here, and all those steps not being here, right? So any invader would have to figure out a way how to get from that rock to that rock. You know, that drags the thing up here, and then this is the old one. So they would throw the rope down, and then the monks would push it and bring up their supplies and the people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you want to feel, look at this.
Oh, this is like,
Lisa?
this would make me sick.
that-
Yeah,
Look at that.
I know, it's like, whoa.
I mean, can you believe that? That's just freaking amazing.
It's crazy. So, because I'm actually having my old boss and a couple of the other people, because she never
Is that it, Eric?
Yes. Oh, you can feel the cool air coming from it.
Σαν χελιδονάκι στο μπαλκόνι μου γύρεψες την πρώτη σου φωλιά.
Been driving too much today.
Γύρε να πλαγιάσεις στο σεντόνι μου να γεμίσει
Cheers.
καμπή πουλιά.
It's not necessarily.
You're not gonna get my beer.
Να γεμίσει
Where the hell are we?
Arachova. How could you not?
We're in Rahova,
There you go.
just outside of Delphi, not far from Delphi, which is what we're going to go see tomorrow. But tonight, we're enjoying some cheese and wine and crackers and a little bit of hot chocolate, and then sleep till tomorrow. Sunny almost.
το νερό πάνω στο σώμα σου.
So here we are at the ruins of the Temple of Apollo, where the Oracle of Delphi resided. The Oracle was a Pythian priestess who told the future. For centuries, particularly at the high points between 700 BC and 400 AD, pilgrims would make their way here to the Oracle to ask questions, to get answers, to be told the future, whether they should go to war, what the crops would be like for that year, that sort of thing. And the oracle would go into a hallucinatory trance-like state and provide the answers. So the theory is that back around 1600 BC, a goat herder, lost one of his goats in a chasm on this spot, prior to any of this stuff being here, of course. It was just a mountain. And he noticed that the goat was acting very funny. Turns out that there may be vapors that had been coming up from fissures in the ground here. The goat herder let all his friends from the local village know. They would come up here and check it out. They would experience the same reactions, physical reactions. And over time, it evolved into a single virginal priestess who would become the oracle. She had a special temple on this spot right behind me here. A chamber where people would come and she would put herself into that hallucinatory state, and divine prophecy. So we're on the island of Trizonia now. Just took the ferry across just to have lunch. Now we just got to find the spot.
Πού είστε, εδώ είστε? Ω, εδώ, οκ.
So here we are outside of ancient Olympia at the Europa Hotel. All these places that Pam and Dimitri have set up for us have been amazing, ranging from the quaint little places to stay in smaller villages to a hotel like this one. And we have a lot of new places to explore for the rest of our vacation. Today, we're going to go check out ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the original Greek Olympics. Look at those ruins, take some more video. Then we're going to drive. I'm actually not sure where we're driving tonight, but you'll find out soon enough. Beautiful place, and we're going to have a good time. We had a great time last night here at this outdoor area. You can see the pool behind me and the nice little outdoor dining area. Had a real fun late night dinner. Ordered a couple of bottles of wine. This morning had a really good breakfast here. And in a couple of seconds, we're getting ready to go. Next stop, Olympia. So here we are at the site of ancient Olympia, where the first Olympic Games were held in 776 BCE. The site is vast, and there's still plenty of really in good shape ruins around here. Of course, most of the buildings that we see around this area were done much later than 776 BCE. The golden period or classical period of the Olympics here were pretty much between the 4th and 3rd centuries BCE, where you had the sort of its peak of Olympic competition here. 394 AD is pretty much when you saw the final suppression of the games by Theodosius I. After that, the festival sort of continued but in a much smaller way. And it wasn't until 1894, the modern era, that the modern Olympics as we know them were first started again. First Olympic Games of the modern era were held in Athens, Greece. And they did the same thing. Even to this day, the Olympic torch is lit using a parabolic mirror and the energies of the sun to light the torch. And of course, that torch is carried to wherever the country is that's holding those Olympic Games. So to this day, the Olympic torch starts right here in front of the Temple of Hera. So the flame always comes from the ancient site of Olympia. And this is the stadium, built in 560 BCE. It's where they had the foot races, among other things. So here we are now on the beach of Kokavatos. Close enough. We just had a nice lunch outdoors on this beach, and we picked up a couple of umbrellas, a bunch of chairs, and are taking our first dip into the ocean surrounding Greece. What do we call this? Is this the actual ocean?
This is the Ionian Sea.
Ah, swimming in the Ionian Sea. There's Dimitri behind me. So he's been our resident translator, of course, and he's been doing a hell of a job. I'm even learning very, very little Greek myself, but Etsy. So here we are in Limani. Limani! These guys keep, Dimitri keeps making fun of how we use an Italian accent for all the Greek words. But Limani. But we're having a nice little light lunch dinner right at the water. The water is literally at our feet. It's a beautiful location, and the hotel is just, it's like right up there somewhere. Dimitri and I got to share some ouzo together. We did a little toast to my brother Randy, who hopefully got a really good result from his PET scan. So cheers to you, brother. More to come. This is our new little place for tonight in Limani. Beautiful little room. That was the front door. More marble floors. Nice large 4-poster bed. And you won't believe this view. Again, nice little balcony. Nice, well, not so little. Nice, good sized balcony. Of course, out there in the distance, the Mediterranean, and of course, the beautiful little cove that we're in now. The village of Limani down there. Next up, Aeropolis, the town close by that we're going to check out, walk the streets, maybe get a little dessert, similar to what we did last night in Pylos. And but right now it's a little rest and relaxation. We've been on the road a lot and we just ate. I don't think we're going to do dinner tonight.
Τα μάτια μου στα μάτια σου.
So we just happened upon a spot in this square that apparently is where the revolution for Greece's independence started. In fact, this is the 200th anniversary of the beginning of that revolution. March 17th, 1821. And right where we are standing is where it all happened.
Wow.
Downtown Square.
See, this is how you discover new things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Christina.
officially lost. Wow, look how many houses are in this. Look at this turn. When you buy a house and rebuild it, what do you call?
Oh yeah, like in Italy, you can buy it for $1 and
No,
then
the cheap word. Fuck. This is not.
Είχε μια απλή καρδιά και τον λέγανε Γιάννη. Κάθε που πέφτει βραδιά γίναμε σεριάνι. Στο γαλάζιο ουρανό δεν μου πως πονώ. Στο γαλάζιο ουρανό δεν μου πως πονώ.
What day is this today? Saturday. It's Saturday morning. We're here on the beach of Mavravoni in the little village. of Mavrovouni. We're just a couple of miles out of Ithion, which is where we went last night to walk the streets. You saw a little bit of footage there. We got a cute little hotel, of course, as usual. And we're going to spend 2 nights here. This is our first 2-nighter. So we're just hanging out at the beach all day, like we did yesterday. Gonna eat, gonna drink, gonna swim. Go back to the hotel tonight. And I'll probably go back to the town of Ithion tonight as well. Maybe do dinner there. And then tomorrow, it's something else.
Θα πάρω 12 παιδιά, 12 παιδιά, 12 μαντολίνα. Να τα πληρώνω μάτια μου, μάτια μου.
So it's Sunday morning. We left Ithion, took the trip up here to Mycenae, and looking at the archaeological site of
Memnon.
Yeah, we're hoping to see Agamemnon's tomb here somewhere. Dimitri seemed a little confused about where it might be. But nevertheless, it's a huge archaeological site, and we're getting ready to cross through the Lion's Gate. So here we are at the peak of this centuries-old Mycenaean temple palace. It included temples that were built upon it centuries later. Like a lot of archaeological sites in Greece, and all over the world for that matter, ruins have ruins on top, which have ruins on top, which have ruins on top over the years. Things have been built on top of other things. So where we are, at its oldest, is 13th century BC, but we're also looking at rooms and ruins that date to just the 3rd century BC. But this is the peak, and you can see it's quite a lot of vista all around us here. So this is the Fortress of Palamidi. It was built around 1711, the early 1700s, and was actually taken over by the Ottomans before its completion. It's comprised of a complex of bastions, and as you can see, it goes on forever, it seems, and everywhere you look are the cutouts in the walls to take on any attacking forces that are approaching. Gun holes and turrets and the like. and a commanding view of the entire valley around and the ocean as well. So behind me is the ancient theater of Epidaurus, here at the sanctuary of Asclepius. It is considered by scholars to be the most perfect constructed example of ancient Greek theaters, both in terms of its aesthetics and its acoustics. The design of the theater is such that the acoustics stay within the environment. The seats act as an acoustic filter which help the lower frequencies resonate to the audience. So almost everywhere you stand, no matter how far up you are in the back, they can hear you. It's quite a feat of engineering. It seats up to 14,000 people and was used not only for plays but also for musical performance and religious worship. This is in the sanctuary of Asclepius, who was the god of medicine, because it was felt at the times that watching dramatic shows, dramatic productions, was good for mental and physical health. So it was sort of a medicinal purpose here. And where I am sitting right now, along this row, you can see the seats are a little different. They have backs to them, or the remnants of backs. Of course, these were the seats for the higher paying guests, the public officials, the wealthy, the aristocrats, that sort of thing.
This is Sunion, the temple of Poseidon, the god of the sea.
It was constructed between the years 444 and 440 BC and is probably on the site of an older temple to Poseidon.
That's funny.
And more importantly, when I was a kid, I used to go in there and play in that thing, which they have taken that right away from us now.
So here we are walking down the street to our apartment where we are staying for the next 3 days in the heart of Athens, Plaka. Lisa and I have just been wandering around a little bit before we go to meet Dimitri's parents for a little dinner at a taverna. So that'll be fun. So now we are here at the birthplace of theater, pretty much the birthplace of acting. This is the theater of Dionysius at the sanctuary of Dionysius. It was dedicated to the god of the festival, the god of wine, the god of merrymaking, Dionysius. Back in the 6th century, you didn't have the stone seating that you see here now, but this area was carved out in the hillside, as you can see, the base of the Acropolis, and at first it was used for sort of religious festivals. In the orchestra section, which is the circular section down below, is where the chorus would stand, the dancers, and you had a single orator who would tell the stories of a religious nature and eventually of war and that sort of thing. Around the 400s, late 400s, is when you really start to see theater develop. This is where the first drama festivals were held in the world. This is also where Thespis, considered the first real actor, competed and won awards for his acting. He was the first person to step away from the chorus and present a production as if he was the character. Prior to that, all the speakers just spoke as if great Achilles stepped off the boat and fought bravely on the battlefield. Thespis was the first one to sort of say, I am Achilles, this is what I did, this is what I say. It was very innovative. No one had ever done that at the time. Hence the first true actor, hence the term thespians, named after Thespis. And this is where it all started. This is the birthplace of theater, the birthplace of acting. So this is the Parthenon, the Temple of Athena, built in the early 400s BCE as a tribute to the Athenians' victory over the Persians. Can you get up and dance?
They're kicking each other. No. I gotta get drunk first.
We're here in Breto's Ouzo Distillery, the oldest distillery in Greece, over 100 years old. We started outside, but now we were able to move inside. One of the most photographed places here in Plaka, in Athens. We're enjoying a couple of that's a Ouzo, really good. Well, this is our last day here, and we're strolling down through the Plaka, doing some shopping, souvenirs, and the like. You can see my wifey in the background there. This is typical of a lot of the streets out here in this area of Athens. A lot of little shops and tavernas, and we've had our fair share of both shopping and tavernas. Tomorrow we leave. This is our last day here. We're gonna go head back to the hotel, come back and eat dinner somewhere, maybe with a great view of the Acropolis tonight.
Did you want me here? I can get one of you guys. Either using your phone or mine. It looks like daytime.
So it's our last night here in Greece with our besties, Sam and Dimitri. And we're on the rooftop restaurant. I don't even know the name of the place we're at.
It's in the front of this thing.
I don't know the name.
Skyline. No, it's Odos Lysiou.
Odos Lysiou is where we are. The cool thing about this place is not only is it beautiful out here, but you see right behind us, that's the Acropolis right there. That's the Acropolis right there. I should be talking to the camera. That's the Acropolis right there.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for coming.
To an amazing
Have a good
trip.
trip.
I know.
Thank you so much for all the work and you guys put into this. We couldn't have asked for anything better. It was amazing. We loved every second of it.
We'll have to do it again. Steniasas.
Steniasas. interesting differences between European life and American life can be found in the bathroom. For instance, you can't put toilet paper in the toilet. It won't flush. It has to go into this can